Hi! So we're here today live in the occasion of the raw vegan bundle, which is a little bit like an online event, or where all the contributors are also meeting each other to talk about a lot of different subjects. And today we're gonna talk about the following subject: when raw awakens the soul, how raw food deepens spiritual connection. And so, to talk about this subject, I'm gonna invite Wendy. Wendy, which is a contributor from the bundle. She's the author of the ebook, and find the ebook in the link in our respective bio. And so I choose Wendy to talk about this subject because Wendy knows a lot about spirituality. She knows a lot about the subject. She has a lot of experiences also. And in her ebook, she's talking about the feminine energy also, but in a holistic way. So very large, but also taking in consideration the spiritual part of it. So I just sent her an invitation, so I hope she's gonna come soon. Wendy, where are you? Um, so yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I will share a bit my experience also with raw food and how it started to become something deeper. Okay, so it's saying that Wendy can't come. Let's see. I'm gonna invite her again. Okay, it should work now. So yeah, I'm gonna share my experiences. Wendy. Hello, Wendy.
Hello.
It's been a
Hi, Melodie.
while. So I was introducing in the live what we were going to talk about. So when raw awakens the soul, so the connection between eating raw and the spiritual part of it, and also talking about your ebook. Um, yeah, I think we can talk about the ebook maybe a little bit after, or
Good
if you have
idea.
the link you can made. And so yeah, I would like to ask you first to begin the subject. Um, when did you see, or if you saw a difference, but I think you did. When did you see the difference, like feeling it, the difference inside when you starting to eat raw, like you felt like something was happening inside with intuition or things like that?
Yeah, I can share you about this experience, I think. So, yeah, as you maybe I know, I am energetic therapist.
Mhm.
So it was already my line of
Yeah.
subject to, yeah, actually study. So I went to like a university to study this, which was quite interesting. And there they teach you about eating, healthy and no sugar, no gluten. Um, yeah, not vegan, but no sugar, no gluten, and that's the main thing. Like no dairy.
Yeah.
And then I saw everybody else still eating it, even though like we had to get a test
Mhm.
on the subject of nutrition and food. And then at the end, there was a test. And after the test, we would get cake made
Okay.
from gluten, eggs, milk, whipped cream, like sugar, insane. And I was
Doesn't
going like, something's off here. like, yeah, you all passed the test, right? You got your exam, like you all
Mm,
passed, and you're eating that. And so at this moment I was already quitting that. Like the
mm,
moment I read the topic, I was like, yeah, I already don't eat sugar. I only, I make my own bread. I only eat spelt. And actually changing that um made me feel lighter,
okay.
as in like just the world overall, like life would be more light instead of dark
Mm,
and heavy.
yeah.
And after I read that, I felt that after, this specific topic, I felt that I should really go even further because I wanted to go back to nature,
Yeah.
right? So I wanted to eat as pure as possible, and I definitely did not want to harm any animals at all. But I've been told by many doctors and with all my, at the time, chronic conditions that I need it, right? So, and I cannot digest legumes. I could not digest anything like replacement vegan foods. So I was finding wild animals, like things like that, and mostly fish because that was not hurting my heart so much.
Yeah.
And then I just decided I want even more pure. I'm just going to go do it. And the moment that I stopped eating basically all the animal foods with it, and I think I was like raw, but I was eating still, I was not cooking my food, but you have these jars of pickles and you
Yeah.
put in your salad and all of these kind of things I was still adding. And for example, I would warm the pumpkin soup just a little bit and things like that. So when I switched that, um, I felt that my work, my energetic healing practice, like what I was doing, was so much easier. Like I
Yeah.
just needed to I made a routine, tiptoe on my toes, ground on my heels, and I would just be there.
Mm.
And that's so amazing. It's like, wow, that's easy. Grounding is so much easier. And yeah, then I started to on purposely meditate for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I felt in this meditation that even that was also more easy. I just thought, okay, I feel this energy flow is just coming by itself, and I don't have to force myself to be present. There's just less chaos in my
Yeah.
mind. And when I was going like really clean, like just eating grapes and watermelon and an iceberg, tomato, cucumber, that was like basically what I ate for a really long period. I would just like lie down in the grass. I remember I'm being in France, or you're in France right now. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. So I remember being in France on my holiday, and I would be in this nature place, maybe not too far from where you are, but there's these beautiful rivers, right? And all these trees and plants, and then there's nobody around, and I would just lie there or sit there, and I would just see all the energy, like so
Wow.
easy between the trees and how it was flowing. And I was just, how do you say that, in love with looking at it. Like it's way better than
Like,
TV. I could feel
yeah.
the love from the trees, communicating.
Mm.
And it was so easy to tap into that.
Yeah. It's like everything is flowing so easily, and I think I also can feel this I don't know, I don't remember really how it was before I started to eat more raw, but I think I remember there was something like shifting, like a shift after going raw for quite a while, and even after, if I eat still high raw, like 80% raw, but still eating some steamed vegetables, I still feel the shift. It's like, as you said, there is something which is not blocking anymore inside, and it's like a door is open now, and you can go through it, and you can see things totally differently. It's like discovering the world in a new way with new eyes, or even maybe like a child eye, like
Yeah.
becoming a child again, because it's easy, and because you see the beauty everywhere, and because when you are an adult and you have a lot of stress and everything, you don't see anything, and you're stressing your body also with all the stuff that you're eating that are not really good for you. And so I think about that. I would like to also talk about I remember you were using a machine to test. You did that one time in a retreat, and I think it's a good way to see the difference. And I think you already saw it a lot, and it's a good for this topic. I think it's perfect to talk about that.
That's totally fine. Yes, I do have two bioresonance machines. You used like the first one that I had that tests the not really the levels of, for example, vitamins, but it looks at what your body needs and in some frequencies that harmful frequencies, for example. Oh, hey, Irene. And some frequencies, for example, it tests like microbes or heavy metals. It tests at the level that it is bothering you. So you get like a scale from minus in the middle and plus, like if it's in excess or it's in lack or it's right there in the middle. And this machine is really awesome. Like I've been following people that been coming to my festival every year, and I've been testing them every year. And then you can see the numbers just like slowly getting better, even though they're getting older. And usually it's the opposite. You see the numbers getting worse. And then one time I saw in one person that I've been following for 5 years, all of a sudden some numbers were bad, and I was like, how's your digestion going? And how it's like, yeah, I've been starting to eating like grains and bread again, and I have problems and I have yeast. And I was like, oh well, yeah, I can see that. So for me it was a really good test also. Like as I consider myself a scientist, I started to study technical physics. That's my first study that I did. And after that, I did physics and chemistry. And then I really wanted to make a machine like that. That was my goal back then when I was 20 years old. Like I want to make a thing like that. Like it should exist, right? I believed that it was existing. And I didn't know that it had been existing since the 1970s and is widely available. It's just not, yeah, it's just not very marketed very well.
Yeah, true.
It's not popular on commercials. So yeah, I wanted to test like if this machine's like really accurate, if it's not just making stuff up. And of course you get feedback from people that it's accurate over the years, but to see somebody eating like 90-95% raw for so many years and see the numbers get better, that's just amazing. That's amazing to see. And now I have another one. It's right here. Let me grab it. This one's really cool. Like, whoop, there goes my phone. This is a Meta Hunter, so that was really cool. This one is developed in Russia actually, and it was made to for doctors to find tumors and inflammation in the body to see if bad cells started to spread through the lymph nodes and stuff. And the cool thing is it picks up on inflammation and cells that are sick before they show up on any regular test, because it's so fine-tuned, it's so subtle. The change is so subtle, so you can see that. And yeah, it's crazy. Like I have people here and I say, okay, you have that tooth over there and I think it's inflamed there. Like, I know, like it's been there for 3 years. How do you know? It's like, I can see in the machine, I can see on the screen.
How can you explain a bit like how the machine works, how it works?
Yeah, so it's based on mathematics. Okay. So it's very technical physics. And you have to imagine that everything that exists has its own frequency. And you can have, like some people say, yeah, the frequency that we listen to is, I think, 20 to 20,000 hertz or something. But you have to imagine that on top of this 1 hertz, there is like micro nano hertz on top of it. This is so subtle. This is really the tiny differences. Every cell has its own frequency. Every atom has its own frequency. You know, in an atom there is the nucleus with a proton and a neuron, and for every single element, for example oxygen or hydrogen, it has its own frequency, all of that. And it has minor changes, for example, because you can have like hydrogen as an air, and you can have it as a salt particle diluted in water, and then it's H plus. So it lost a minus electron somewhere. And that is like still macroscopic scale. So this machine has software inside with all the frequencies that they've gathered about the human body, and also about microbes, viruses, funguses, all of that. They all tested all these frequencies, they collected them, and they're inside there. So it sent then a signal to your body, and it received a frequency back. So if, let's say, something in this area of my face, it makes, it tests like, how do you say that? Like MRI, it makes little cuts through your body. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
So it makes
Like I wave.
Yeah, so it tests here, then it tests here, and then it tests here, and then it tests. And so let's say the frequency here is off, then it goes and compares the change of the what is wrong with all these microbes and metals and everything that's in there. And there are like thousands of frequencies of bad stuff inside, which it compares to that to see what's wrong. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I don't know why we're not using this, like the doctors and everything. I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, me neither. Like, it's like Star Trek, you know, they go beep, 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 beep. No, it's like that.
Yeah.
But that's probably why they got, why it is in Star Trek, because in 1970 it already exists. Hi, Namatuhako. Hello. She's in the bundle too. So nice for you to drop in our video.
Yeah, that's so nice. So I like this machine in this subject because it shows how it's connected, like the frequencies, the spiritual and the physical. Like a lot of people are not really seeing the link between. It's like they think it's completely different ways to see things, but it's still the same. And when you eat raw, I think it's actually raising your frequency, and you can see that with the machine.
Yeah, it can. Overall, when somebody comes here with me, or like comes to let's just say we do a consultation, even when I just guide them and say, hey, like feel the bottom of your feet, like just connect to the earth right now and take a deep breath and relax, even that makes small changes.
Okay.
However, the machine is still very rough compared to what you and I as a person can detect with our hands or with our aura. And that's my experience. So the testing that I do manually, I still feel that is better than the machine.
Yeah.
So the machine, and this is even a real good one, because there is like between the first one, it's very easy, it has a little software, and this one, there is 10,000 euro in difference, and there is also 10,000 levels of how good is the frequency of the machine. It's all about the components, right? If you take a phone from 10 years back or 20 years back, it's it's not so fine, it's not so small, it's all big, the frequency are a little rough. So the more the better the quality of the components, the better the frequencies that can be measured and also send out, because this one can heal as well. And that's really beautiful. You can really like target, for example, fungus overgrowth. And yeah, I'm helping somebody also now with the spine vertebra. You can, that's different from when we do hands-on healing, because this machine can very specifically then send back exactly that frequency that they need.
Yeah. I think it's also maybe easier to help someone this way when the person is actually eating better for herself, like eating more raw and everything. I have an aunt that she's also using the energy, like the magnetism in the hands and everything, to help people, and she also give advices about the food, because it's so much easier when they're also working on the food to be able to heal.
Yeah, because you have to imagine that all the food has frequency as well.
Mm-mm.
And especially if we're eating something, even supplements from a factory, like imagine the energy of the machines. Like imagine standing in the area where there's all the machines and metal and there's concrete and metal. Like you feel horrible if you stand there all the day. Then imagine if you go walk in a beautiful forest that we were just talking about, and you have like mountains and water stream, and you know you're barefoot, you're connecting to the grass, and imagine how you feel then.
Yeah.
So when we are eating things that have been in an environment like that, that gets absorbed. And then, for example, it's worse when people eat meat, heavy digestible meat, like especially
Pork.
yeah, like pork and cow, like that. Um, it's not impossible to treat them, but the body's not picking up because you put all this stress and all this undigestible stuff is inside you. It's inside your belly, and then when I'm trying to make a change, it's the body's not picking it up. Like, and I noticed that when I was doing my juice fast, like my super long one, that was 78 days, that when I used herbs back then, I used one drop. The recommendation is two full droppers.
Yeah.
I don't
Drop
I'm
of,
looking
yeah.
for one here. So let's say like a little bottle like that, just like one drop.
Yeah.
And I would just immediately feel the change. While now I was pregnant and I started to eat stuff. Let's just basically say I started to eat, like, okay, I didn't go out to eat pizza somewhere, but you can imagine for somebody being 8 years, like 100% raw, like touch nothing, to start eating, okay, I really need steamed, I needed Brussels sprouts, like kilos of them. Like I was just craving all these greens. And then I was so hungry, I started to eat crackers to keep, like, not a lot, just like a teeny tiny bit, but a couple of times a day to keep the stomach acid down. It was the only thing that helped, right? So then I got these issues and I started to use my herbs, and it's like, why are they not working? Like, oh yeah, Wendy, because you're eating like this cooked crap. And then I would be like raw for a couple of days, but I would be like craving this green stuff again. So I would basically go eat the green stuff. So I felt such a big difference. Like when 100% raw, then you just need a little bit of the herbs to have the physical particles, but also the energy of this plant help you. And now Elina's been born, and it took me a while. Like every week, I would still pick a slice of bread from her father, or I would and a year before, if you told me to ever eat bread again, I would say like, never, that stuff, I can't chew that, like I would never eat that, and I did it. So now I can say to everybody else, yeah, like I fell off, I know what it's like now to struggle to stay raw. And what I found is that if I can share the secret, is like you have to eat enough. And for me, it was basically just calories, like having no fat left and being so skinny and looking for food all the day was better for me to just like eat than not eat. I think that my body was just in stress from under eating. So I learned the hard way. You need a big breakfast if you're pregnant.
And this is all you are talking about in your ebook from the bundle, right?
Well, not so much about this part of the me eating other crap. No, I'm talking completely about the nutrients that are in specific food. Like I took a big example on spinach.
Mm-hmm.
The iron, not only the iron, but zinc. Oh, I think the other one, carrot and carrot greens, choline, such important minerals. And people know about magnesium. Oh, you have a cramp, you have to need more magnesium, right? Like people know that. And iron, they still give here people, pregnant people, iron, like iron tablets. They just clog you up, like you get constipated from that. It never gets absorbed to the right place. It doesn't help your blood cells get more red because of ferritin in it. No, but they still do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go very deep into that, and also the role of B vitamin and especially B12, how it's absorbed, how you can get it. Like, you know, even like if you're vegan and you get a pregnancy, they say it's not possible. Of course, like many people do it, but how can you do that in a way that you know you get all your vitamins and all your minerals? And what else is in there? It's naslagwerk. Okay, so I don't know this word in English. It's really a look-up book. So
Okay.
if you feel you have hot flashes, you can go to the list and you can just read where it says hot flashes, and then there's a
Mm-hmm.
recommendation.
Yeah.
And
Like a handbook.
yeah, like a handbook for any hormonal change that you might struggle with. So even if you have like endometriosis, or if you are feeling you're in premenopause, I have some younger women that they have been told that they're going in menopause and that it's irreversible. Of course it's reversible. Like, you know, you just need to clean your body. But there is homeopathy also, like, okay, what if you're nauseous when you're pregnant? What if your baby's upside down? Like, what do you do? What if your labor is late? How can I start my labor? Like, how can I make it go faster? What if you are halfway and the baby all of a sudden stops, your body stops, and baby needs to come out right now? Like, what do you take? So it has a recommendation on vitamins and minerals, and how to get them from food, how to get from natural supplements like powders. If you really need to supplement, like pills because your doctor's on your neck and they threaten to take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
How to make a good choice, like how can you buy a plant source, like it looks like a capsule but it's actually plant
Yeah.
inside, instead of something synthetic that won't work. So yeah, so that's what's in my book. That's
Yeah.
what's in my book.
Looks very, very interesting. I didn't have the time to really read everything, but I read a bit and I was like, okay, I think it would be actually very interesting one day if I'm pregnant and everything. And also about the endometriosis, I will look. It's interesting. So yeah, people can also find it in the bundle, so in the link in our bio, and see what is it, and also all the other ebooks that are inside the bundle. And there is so much, and I like because there is like so your book about your pregnant and everything, and after you have books also for recipes for kids. So it's like, for the whole life, like when you're pregnant, when you have the baby and everything, so you can have everything in a bundle just to follow the process. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are like feeling off or tired, you can use my recipes for feeling better. And then when your child gets bigger and they have to start eating, you can take Kate's
Yeah.
book, right?
Yeah.
But for me, whenever I want something luxurious, I go to your book.
Yeah, it's more fancy stuff.
Yeah, I really like it. Like when you want to make something beautiful for in the weekend, uh, go to Melodie's books. I especially like the French one, but this one, yeah, I like this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different, but I wanted to make something that are like like the handbooks that we're talking about. Also, like you want to imitate something and you
Yeah,
are not sure about how to do it, and you take the handbook and you have ideas. It's not. I was not seeing this ebook like a recipe ebook, but more like to help you to develop your creativity, you know, to just look at what are the possibility to imitate something and after develop your own recipe from that.
Yeah. So that would be the copycat handbook, right?
Yeah.
So we can copy other recipes, and yeah, I think it's very very interesting how to take a recipe that
Mm.
you know and just twist it a little bit into a raw version to get the same kind of texture and flavor. I love that. That's real chef's work.
Yeah, I really love it because it looks like art. When I'm doing it, it looks like art. When you're trying to paint some landscape, it's the same thing, but in your plate. You're trying to recreate something which already exists, and you're trying to imitate every details and everything. And it's really, it's really helping me with my creativity. And I think raw food is really also helping with that, like creativity. The more raw food I eat, and the more I'm creative. It's just weird.
No, you just get inspired. Like you're like opening up
Yeah.
here, and they can just like your guys can just pour in, and you're sending out like questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's going out in the ether, and your guys are like, hey, I know this one, and just giving you answers back. And it all happens without us being conscious of it throughout
Wow,
the day. I love that.
that's very, very interesting.
You didn't know yet? Well,
No, I didn't saw that this way, but I like it.
yeah, when you really practice looking at energy, you can see it. It's really amazing. You see like electricity's going that way and electricity's going this way. It's really cool.
Yeah, looks like cool. Okay, so I think we're done, or maybe you have something else you want to add?
Not so much. I really appreciate your time. And for everybody, thank you for watching. I can't see who's live right now, but I see we still have 5 people. So all 5 people, thank you for staying until the end. I really recommend you go check out our books, like Melodie's copycat book and my hormonal balance book. It's called Feminine Harmony in the Raw Vegan Bundle. And yeah, we will see each other soon.
Yeah, in all the lives, also in the link in our bio, you can see the all the schedules of lives and all the topics. So I think there is a lot of stuff that people can find something that interests in them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
Sheffield.
you.
Thank you, Elena.
Goodbye.
Bye, Nama. See
Bye.
you.
Bye.